Hey
Hello.
there! Oh my gosh.
Hello.
How lovely to see you. Thank you so much, Antonio, for being here.
Thank you for inviting me. So exciting.
Oh, yay. So everyone, hey,
Hi, Erika.
uh, um, if you don't know, this is dear friend Antonio Oyarzábal.
Perfect. Thank you
Something
so
like
much.
that. Who's currently in the UK. Is that right? You're there right
Yes,
now?
in London. Yeah.
Yeah, in London where you reside.
hmm
So, yeah, but originally from
Bilbao.
Bilbao. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Oh,
Where Gabriela Montero is at the moment playing Clara Schumann concert.
oh, brilliant. Amazing. Uh, um, so you're from Bilbao, and let's go right into tell us about your musical training.
Yeah.
Where did you study and who are your mentors and such like that?
So I studied. I started in my school, in my Catholic school, where they were offering either accordion, guitar, or piano lessons.
Ah,
A little random with the accordion. And I, of course, was captivated by piano. And my mom always tells me, because I always wonder, like, where did that come from? My parents are musicians, no one in my
no.
family is, like, and they always say I was obsessed with singing in the car when we were traveling and all of and so it made sense. I was
Yeah.
sort of artistic as a child. I also joined ballet classes when I was 5 years old, and I asked for them, right? Which is unusual, I guess. Um, and yeah, so I started there with a lovely nun, with a lovely sister Cecilia. Uh,
Perfect.
yeah, exactly, exactly. She was a lovely Belgian lady living at the town where I'm from, and she told me just the love of music, the most important, really.
Oh,
Uh,
fantastic.
yeah, and then from then on, I went to the local conservatoire near Bilbao, and a beautiful person, Guadalupe, also taught me piano and prepared me for like the sort of the bachelor degree, really.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Undergrad, we call it here.
yeah, the undergrad. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And she also taught me harpsichord, for which
Oh,
I'm so
amazing.
grateful. Yeah, and in
As a
fact,
teenager, you learned.
yeah,
Wow.
because she's mostly a harpsichordist, and she's the one that introduced me to Elisabeth Jacquet de la Guerre. So
Already as a teen.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Mm.
So I was 14 then or something, you know.
Oh,
Yeah,
fantastic.
and then I went on to the undergrad, where my mentors were a couple, Marta and Miguel.
Mm.
And Marta Zabaleta is, if you don't know her, she is like the best Spanish pianist. I'm exaggerating, but she is such a wonderful pianist, and I admire her so much. And she is the sort of disciple of Alicia de la Rocha.
Oh,
She,
wow.
yeah, she
Okay.
followed her legacy,
Oh,
really.
that's a nice lineage.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, Antonio, but it seems like we have trolls here. That's
Oh, we
super weird.
do.
Why
Yeah.
would we why would we draw that? I don't know
Uh,
if Erica, if you can go in and do, I don't know, probably it doesn't work if I'm in there as well. Oh, I don't know. I guess we'll just ignore them.
yeah, exactly.
So sorry. So you
That's
have the
right.
lineage from De La Roja in a way.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So,
Wow.
yeah, just very privileged to have studied with her and with her husband Miguel Borges, a wonderful Portuguese pianist, and other teachers. But I don't want to go on and go on. But mostly them two. You know, they taught me what I say, the Bible of the piano,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
yeah, and from then on, I carried my studies in London
Ah,
in the form of postgraduate um, at the Guildhall School of Music.
okay. Perfect.
Yeah, yeah. And
Was
since
that
then,
culture shock to move to London from Bilbao?
It was a little bit. It was a little. I'm not gonna lie, because obviously we do study English in school, but it wasn't sort of my main second language. It was more French at the time.
Right.
And in fact, I was considering going to carry on my studies in Paris with Denis Pascal, another wonderful teacher.
Mm.
And that just couldn't be in the end. And, you know, London forced me to step up my game.
Yeah. Well, there you are. You stepped it
Thanks.
up and stood out. So that's incredible that you already learned of Jacques de la Gare at 14.
Mhm.
I just learned of her at this age, which I won't say what it is. So, but when did you realize, like, kind of in general, thanks, Erica. Yeah, I figured it wouldn't work. In general, like, when did you realize that music composed by women was worthy of your attention as a performer?
Right. So, you know, I'm sort of happy to say that I never sort of had to realize. I don't know how to explain it. Yeah, it was very natural in a way. Of course, this is not entirely true because I didn't include them as much as I should, you know, so it was just little snippets here and there. But as I say, I learned about Elisabeth Jacquet de la Gare really naturally. For example, when studying harpsichord, it wasn't even mentioned the fact that she was a woman. She was just Elisabeth Jacquet de la Gare.
Right.
And that's wonderful. And then because of my love, absolute love for Lettice Poulenc being I adore Poulenc, right? Rementa Efer was always there as well.
Right.
And Lily Boulanger as well. I was already learning her pieces in my undergrad studies. So, of course, I'm only mentioning 3 names, and that's, you know. But
well, that's more than some of us had at that stage, that's for sure.
That's very kind of you to say, but what I mean is just basically it all came quite naturally.
Yeah.
And then, of course, when really going for my project and whatever we mentioned today, then the realization that you were mentioning is when it really came.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of a few years ago, or
Yeah.
So what was that kind of discovery? How did that feel?
Just wonderful. I'm just loving it. I'm loving it. I don't know. It's since deciding my CD, my album, and also the project on Instagram that we will talk about and everything. Yeah. There hasn't been a day when I'm not performing or recording or researching or on women composers, and it just has become same as for you, I think, and Eric, a way of living in a way. And
mission, or, Beautiful.
So I feel really, I relate to everything you do as a team in Piano Music Zero because it's so constant and almost unnoticeable, the daily thing, isn't it? So
it really is. Sometimes it feels like it's 24/7, doesn't it? Which is only right after 24/7 ignoring or not realizing that there is all this repertoire. So, sorry, when you did La Muse Oubliée, your beautiful album, was that your first album or had you done other recordings before that?
I had done 2 other previous CDs. My first one is called The Inner Child, and it's a sort of look back to childhood, but from the perspective of an adult. A little bit. I always do the analogy with Le Petit Prince by Antoine.
Nice.
And it's Schumann, Kinderscenen, Mamère Gloire for piano solo, Ravel, and the arrangement, and Children's Corner, Debussy, and Monpou, Catalan composer, his children's scenes.
Okay, fantastic. Yes. What a nice idea.
The second project was more of a commission. They discovered some works that a composer from my hometown had done, and they were completely forgotten. And the grandson of this composer, who lives in Atlanta, organized everything in the project and
yeah, okay.
ordered it. Yeah.
Yeah, so a little different.
Yeah.
So you're concertizing quite a bit now with the program from La Muse Oubliée. Can you just remind us, people, it's not possible that some people haven't heard it, but if they haven't, what are the composers that you included on that recording?
So I have it here just to show, and
Okay, beautiful.
yes, it's on Spotify and on YouTube and very accessible, hopefully. And it's 13 composers: Manazuka, Amy Beats, Mel Bonith, Elizabeth Jacques de la Guerre that we were talking about, Ethel Smythe, Clara Schumann, Lily Boulanger, Emiliana de Zubeldia, Germaine Taillefer, Ruth Crawford Seeger, Lucia Garuta, Vyacheslava Kapralova, and Fanny Mendelssohn herself.
Okay, all right, good. The only one I didn't recognize the name, Emiliana
de Zubeldia.
Okay, I don't know that composer, do I?
Right. Oh, you're gonna love her.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean, I have listened to your album, but maybe I wasn't watching the names at that point. So who is that again?
So, it's such a discovery. Emiliana de Zubeldia, I'm so even proud to say she was Basque or Navarran, which is a region that is immediately colliding with Basque, and it sort of forms part of it anyway. It's a bit political, but it's from there.
She's yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And she lived for 99 years and had the most amazing life because she went to study in Madrid and then to Paris with Vincent Dindy.
Okay.
Where she, the piece that I recorded in the album belongs to that stage in her life. And
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
I will look at that more closely.
Yeah. And yeah, it's just beautiful.
How did you get the score for that? Or
the score, I can pass it to you, but it's you're interested, but it's in a sort of library in Basque Country that files a lot of music from authors there. Yeah.
Right. So connections to the library.
Yes.
Awesome. So.
Sorry. The super interesting thing about her is that she spent most of her life in Sonora, Mexico.
Ah, okay.
And was the leading figure in music in the university there, creating choirs and piano classes and so many students and yes.
Wow. Okay, I need to look this up and play some of her music too. Fantastic. She probably has also pedagogical.
Yes.
Ah, good.
The thing with Emiliana though is that she met Augusto Novaro, who created the natural system of music, which implies even tuning the instruments differently, and as opposed to the tempered movements, right? And so she was obsessed with him. She met him in New York, I think, and became obsessed and such a follower. And her pieces, even though they have this very distinctive language in them, they are a bit less accessible than her previous work.
I see. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's a bit mixed. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Interesting. So anyway, you're concertizing now with the whole album, kind of. Is that the program?
Yes.
Beautiful. And you've done several concerts already, I think. And what's the future? How is it unfolding?
In terms of this program or future programs?
Both.
Yeah. So this program, I'm so happy that it's sort of awakening now in terms of, because I was telling my friends and my family how excited I was that, in terms of reviews and all of that, I've been very lucky with the album. But I want to...
Not luck, it's beauty and ability, of course, yeah.
Thank you so much, Sandra. But you know what I mean? I wanted to translate that into actual concept.
Yeah.
especially after the pandemic.
Yeah.
And they are finally all coming, a bit like, just coming all together, which is great. But I'm getting a bit. I need to plan them better in terms of how to divide them in the year, because
Right.
yeah. But that's really lovely. And in terms of future projects in this line, which is the line to follow, really.
Yeah.
I
like that.
Yeah, I mean, now I don't contemplate. I've been contacted only yesterday for a chamber music concert in July in a festival, and it won't involve any women composers, and I'm a bit feeling strange about it, just because not because it has to be in the program, just because it should be, and it feels strange not to have it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
It's sort of something has clicked completely, and it does feel strange. I mean, there is a certain line to follow. That's what I'm trying to say. So I do understand why, and I will accept the concert, but it does feel a bit strange. But in any case, my future projects in this line that we were saying are a new CD on Latin American women composers.
Ooh, nice.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. There's a lot of research behind it.
Yeah. And finding scores again must be challenging.
Yes. What's nice about it is that I am recording it gradually. I'm having to do it in sort of 3/3, and
that's ideal.
Yeah. And another one is trios by women, piano trios.
Great. And you have a trio that you're part of? Yeah. Oh, okay, brilliant. So much possibility there. Yeah,
that one is tricky to find dates when to do it, but it will happen.
Okay. Fantastic. Oh, all the best for those.
Thank you so much.
And then concerts spilling out all over the place. And then I guess you teach as well. And
yes. And I'm so excited because on the 11th February, and I wanted to reveal this with you.
Okay.
Yes. So
scoop.
Yeah. So next Friday, I will post about it. But basically, in the school I work at, which is if you imagine British schools, a bit like Eton, right? A bit all boys and all uniforms, and what they say, very posh, they say here, right? So it's even more relevant than usual to generate a change in this area. And I am teaching always, music by women, but we've organized this concert for the 11th February, which is almost 2 hours, and we are representing over 25 figures of women, and not only all my piano students, but also some chamber music, a couple of trios, a couple of things even with saxophone and singing and clarinet and violin. And what's most exciting is that the audience will get the chance to really learn about them, because behind the performance we have this massive screen where the pictures will be projected and the date. And 2 drama students from the school will be talking to the audience really closely, personally, about the figures.
Wow, that's so lovely.
Yes. We're really excited because they're so committed,
Yeah. Are you going to live stream it?
I don't think we can because of safeguarding issues with the school,
Yeah.
They take a lot of care in that, but but there is a Canadian composer.
Yes. Which one?
And Crosby Godet.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Good.
Yes, there is a piece by her, and she was so sweet to write a little phrase for my student to encourage him and cheer him up, and
Oh, that's so nice, that synchronicity.
Yes.
Fantastic. What I'm just wanting to get to next is you have this massive Instagram project to do with women who composed. I wonder, first of all, if you can kind of describe what it is you've done and are continuing to do, obviously.
Right.
How?
That's another thing I wanted to unveil today with you live, that we've just achieved the 600 entries just now before this.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Over how long have you been doing it?
I started in 2020.
Yeah.
We
started in 2020.
Like everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So please describe it, like,
yeah,
to people who haven't come across it yet.
Yes. So I was reading this book.
Okay.
Yeah. Which of course focuses on Anglo-American composers, but it's just one of the books I was reading because of some connections with the CD I was preparing. And I did like the sort of entry as an encyclopedia like that, and I thought I'm learning so much, but obviously I cannot retain all this information about each of them. Right?
Yeah.
And so what was good about it is that completely inspired me to create something during the pandemic that was not similar, because humbly, of course, this is just like a little information, but still to reflect a lot of them with a bit of an accurate information and a little bit of their music, because we are so privileged that we can find some music on Instagram stories, although not as much as we would like to, of course.
Right. Limited, but
yes. And so many CDs aren't even there yet and everything, but you know. So basically that's how it came, and I just started creating them, and in the beginning it was just really simplistic, just a picture of them plus the dates and stuff, which, by the way, when some people see that I suddenly post the story of someone as Clara Vick, it's not that I'm including her really late, it's just that I'm updating it constantly.
Yeah, right.
Because I've had comments like, how come you didn't have, I don't know, someone I did recently that is really big, Ethel Smythe, I think it was. And of course I included her in the first ones, but I've been updating it because in the beginning it was a bit more simple.
Oh, I see. But people are thinking you've only just discovered her now.
Yeah. Which I don't mind, but you know, just to clarify.
So what does determine the order that you put them up?
There is no order, no importance, and that's what I love about it. And also you can find someone that is still alive and creating, and suddenly someone from, you know, that I just discovered that was part of the nobility in the court of Spain in the 17th century. You know what I mean? And he happened to be a princess. And so I don't mind at all that. I just want to create like a sort of, little insight, little information that generates curiosity, and then might take you to discover more individually.
Yeah, indeed it does. And I guess, I don't know if you would call it random, but the order that they appear in when you're looking through, I kind of find that it gives this energy of, they've always been there, those women. Like, look, from back then and from now and from in between, and just like this, and her. It's just this constant surprise that you're kind of
and the diversity.
Take us on a tour of.
Absolutely, and their diversity, their nationalities.
Yes.
And you might have this. The other day we were mixing Eleanor Corey, right, with Lily Wakani, the princess from Hawaii, right? And it's just, that's what I love, the diversity, the different dates, you know.
Yeah, so in those juxtapositions, it somehow highlights each one of them even more. That's my impression anyway.
I love that take on it.
Yeah, good. So that, I guess, you will continue. Are you doing that daily, or what? How often?
It depends a bit. Sometimes I take a bit of a break, depending on, you know, because it's completely altruistic. I don't have any support for it, and I'm happy with that. But it does take a lot of time, and even though it looks like a fast thing, you know, I always select where I'm going to include, and and there are many like a sort of waiting list because I haven't found precisely the music we were mentioning or background stories. So I try when I include one without the music, it being intertwined by 3 that do have music. Does that make sense? At least 3.
Yeah. So there's no dead air.
Yeah, exactly. So that you don't pass 2 with your thumb and both didn't have music.
Right. Cool.
So a lot of that takes a lot of thinking, and I've just completed 600, and we will do many more, hopefully, or I will do.
So can you highlight from those 600, which have you got a few that are like the most incredible discoveries that meant something to you personally? I mean, maybe you can't narrow it down too much, but yeah, do you have a list?
Yeah. Right. It's so hard to select 3, but I don't know, 3 that I love that are included. Let's think. Well, the Hawaiian Queen was like, what is this all about?
Really?
Yeah, that was amazing. Gayaneche Botarian, an Armenian composer.
I have her on my next program.
Right.
Oh, so beautiful.
Her. Yes, I love her.
Yeah.
I don't know, even Lucia Garuta, who is in the CD, was such discovery. Like, never. How come we never heard of her? I mean, those preludes she has, you know.
Yeah. I must say that I was one of the people that did hear of her because I have the Latvian background. Yes. So she's quite well known in the Latvian music world.
Yes.
And we call her Lucia Garuta. So
Garuta.
The emphasis in Latvian is always on the first syllable.
Oh,
Lucia Garuta.
Thank you, Lucia.
But yeah, and I also have her in mind for my volume 3 of En Plein Air. Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
So yeah, except why should I record the same music that Antonio has already recorded? But
no, we need
anyway.
We need a lot of them. We need a lot of recordings.
Yeah, we do, and I'll bring a little bit of the Latvian energy to it. So
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And I love your Agat background.
Oh yeah, thank you. So yeah, as you know, piano music she wrote.
Yes.
Was formed also in 2020 with this mission of helping pianists find the music, find the scores in particular. First, find out who existed, but also like get people playing this music by helping them find the scores. So I think that is one of our greatest challenges. You would probably agree. And we spend a lot of hours looking for scores. So just wondered if you have any tips, any insights, any magic sauce.
Honestly, this is not. This is true. I always direct them to you guys. At the moment, that's my answer. Sorry, it is the truth.
Yeah, thank you.
It's not that I'm talking to you. It is the real truth. In my school, they know about you. I keep pestering about them joining the subscription. Thank you. And it will happen. It will happen. And yeah, it's just what it is. That's the best answer I can give you. Because, you know, what you guys do is amazing.
I wasn't fishing for that at all, Antonio. But
I know, but it happened.
But that's the thing. Like, for example, Emilia. Sorry, I haven't absorbed her name. Emiliana. Like, how did you come across her? Where did you find the scores? You know.
So Emiliana. How did I come across Emiliana?
You don't have to give up any secrets, but like,
no.
It's either luck or loads and loads of hours Googling around, and then luck.
I think, let me tell you, from my experience, luck will happen, but only if you start the research.
You gotta dig.
Yeah. It doesn't come up.
Yeah.
it is all related, and things will appear and be almost like gifts.
Yeah.
We're expecting, but you need to start the research, I think.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's precisely how Emiliana came about.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she did study with Blanche Selva as well. Maybe
Ah.
that's why. I'm thinking now.
Okay.
Because I did research a bit on Blanche Selva.
Aha.
Yes.
And yeah, I've had many of these moments where the frustration of not being able to find things takes me over. I allow it to take me over, and I just yell out, like,
Yeah.
where?
Yes.
You who cleaned up after this composer after she died, where did you put it? So I just say that as a way of encouraging people to go into musical research, you know, and even as a hobby, even as an amateur researcher, it's so the piece that we need in this endeavor, I think.
And I think I've started, whenever I post in relation to this in pedagogy and in the teaching world and stuff, I started to use this hashtag no excuses, because really that's what defines it best. Like, we don't have excuse now. The repertoire is all there. Just try and move your fingers a bit and try and reset. I mean,
exactly. So when you think of this fact that we are making headway, I think we are starting. Like,
we are starting.
Do you notice a difference from when you started planning La Muse Oubliée to now?
Yeah, I do. It's funny you say that, because in London, people around me are telling me, oh, you started earlier, because now it's everywhere, but you know, you started a bit earlier, and I don't think I started early at all. I started too late.
Same.
But it's funny, because it is a bit better. The problem with it is that in many of these scenarios, it's a little bit of tokenism, I can see.
Yeah, exactly.
And I just wish they deserve the same attention that the main courses got for the programming, for representation, for everything. And so things are being done, but not necessarily all of them with the same care. You see what I mean?
I do. I really do. I think I posted an article that I came across yesterday, kind of addressed that a little bit in the world of visual artists, that the point of the article was enough with the temporary exhibitions of women artists. That's not helping. And that's like continuing this idea of, oh wow, she was so talented, but like
almost patronizing.
Not taking into account that we know of fewer women who painted or composed or wrote, not because of talent or not talent, but because of the world that they lived in, you know?
Because of being neglected because of their gender.
Yeah. So that's not taken into account enough, I think, and becomes this tokenism. I don't know if I'm making that clear.
And I loved when I won't remember her name now, which is horrible, but this happens to me all the time. When you did the live with this lovely teacher that has released another book in Canada.
Oh, Olivia.
Olivia. And
I
was so interested. I watched it all, and I loved her phrase of, "This is not the cherry on top."
Right.
This is not on top, and I love that, and I'm gonna borrow it if she doesn't mind, because
I'm sure she's all for that. Yeah, her wonderful resource, loud and clear.
Yes. On that line, if you let me, Sandra, I want to also, because I know a lot of people that are our friends and you know, colleagues in this as well are gonna watch probably. I want to take the chance to just sharing, you know, that when I use on my CD the title La Muse Oubliée, I am not calling these 13 composers muses of no one. And I know you know that this is not directed to you at all. But I take chances like this that you give me generously to explain that it actually challenges that vision, and it takes us back to the origin of the word before it got deviated because of patriarchy, right? To this image of romanticized almost, right, of the muse of the man artist. And I, by no means, I was intending to use that in my tattoo. I just say this because even colleagues of us that we are constantly supporting each other in social media and everything, I do feel that they might have a little reticency with my title or the usage. And I just want to take this chance that you give me to clarify. So thank you for that, for allowing me to explain.
I mean, that's a really important point, and like that it was the impetus behind your choice. You need to, I guess you probably need to explain that over and over.
Yes,
which is the point. Like we need to hear about that.
If it generates a discussion, I'm all up for it. But I do think sometimes me, the first one, right, that we see something and we are quickly in judging sometimes, and without knowing someone's work behind the scenes.
Right.
So I just wanted to say.
Yeah, no, that's good. Thank you. So that recording, I guess it's available, like you said, on Spotify and all the places.
They can buy it as well if they want.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. I was just going to say, Spotify, you get 0.000 pence, whatever.
Yeah.
So please, people, buy this recording. And where will you do that?
Right. So they can just go to my website and just drop me an email or a request, or like just click on buying the CD. There are many the same option, but they all go to the same place. Or they can choose platforms as Amazon or iTunes or something. But obviously, it will never be like buying locally, right?
Right.
You know.
Are you on Bandcamp as well, or?
No, I don't think so, actually. Well, if I am, I don't know. But...
You would know, because I think you have to do a real process to put it there.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's really important that we buy each other's products, I think, especially these days, and not just stream them for free. Although, that's also good for discovery, I guess.
Yeah.
So your website is Antonio.
Yeah. Oh, look, Erica is
there. It is. She's just so good.
Yeah. Thank you, Erica.
There's your website, Antonio Oyarzábal.com.
Yeah.
Or Oyarzábal.com.
Yes, that's it.
Even that.
That was perfect.
Well, it's like my name never gets pronounced correctly. It's only pronounced correctly in Denmark, which is where it's called Mogensen, with no G. Even though there's a G, they don't pronounce it. But here I get Morgenstern and Mogenstein and Morgensen. And,
why would you get an R there? Why Morgan?
It's so hot. So often I'm at a counter signing into something. The person's asked my name. Oh, could you spell that? M-O-G, I say, and they have written down M-O-R.
Right.
So that's why I asked you how to pronounce it. I wanted to do it right. Yeah. So is there anything else you want to touch on today in this forum?
Well, I don't know. I'm just enjoying chatting to you.
Yeah, likewise. I can't wait till we can get together in person.
Yeah, I know. We should organize a festival. I don't know.
Yeah. Something. That's true. We could
very easy, right?
I think that's what we have to do.
Yeah.
But you guys there in London, you're getting
Mhm.
your life back now.
Yeah.
Here in Ontario,
Really.
we'll see what the truckers can accomplish. Have you heard
Mhm.
about our revolution?
No. What happened?
Oh, we have a revolution in Canada. Maybe not everyone would call it that, but the truck drivers from the entire country,
Mhm.
thousands of them, have all made a convoy to come to Ottawa to say, "Come on,
All
give
right.
us our life
Mm.
back." Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's been happening about a week and a half now.
Mm.
So
Similar to France, that happened in France not so long ago.
yeah, this is huge though because it's
Yeah.
a huge country, you know, and people are on the road for days, and they're saying that they're not going anywhere until they get
Wait.
some results. So
Yeah.
we'll see. But there's quite a bit of support. None from the media, none from the mainstream, but it's
Mhm.
yeah. So when we can fly easily again,
Yeah.
then we'll meet up.
And I
in
know you
London.
love the UK, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. To think that 2 years ago, I was actually considering moving to Glasgow.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, just didn't quite flow, and then here we are.
Right.
We
Would
know
you still
why.
consider that?
Pardon?
Would you still consider that for the near future? Or?
You know, I haven't ruled anything out. I don't feel like I can make any plans of any
Mm,
sort though. So
right.
right now this is perfect. So here I am. Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, it's very crazy not to be traveling. I just had
Mm.
that thought this morning. Wow, 2 years ago, February, I traveled so much. I wrote a list of all the airports and train stations. It was this massive list. For about 6 weeks, I was just, I don't know how many beds I was in. And then stop.
It's so funny you mentioned Glasgow because it was the last place I traveled to before.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
wow. Where
Yeah.
did you play there?
And there was this music society, Westbrook called. They
Okay.
organize beautiful concerts, and it's where Chopin played when he visited in Scotland,
Ah,
in Glasgow.
beautiful.
And yeah, that was the last concert before the pandemic lockdown, the very big first one.
Wow.
And I'm returning now this month, not Glasgow, but Vilnius in Ayr by the coast. It's like sort
Okay.
of.
I love Scotland. So
Yes,
beautiful.
same.
Beautiful. And the people are so lovely.
Yes, so
So
welcome.
sweet. One of my last concerts was in Erica's part of the world in
Oh yeah,
Virginia. So
Roanoke.
yeah, yeah, it was not in Roanoke, but it was in a town near there. So yeah,
I
I had a
see
U.S.
this
tour.
question by
Oh,
her.
I can't see the whole question.
Antonio, did you find some freedom in that many of the pieces you recorded for your album hadn't been recorded before? Or did you sometimes wish that you had something to refer to? Such a
Refer to
good
him.
question.
That's a good question.
I did find some freedom, but also it triggered insecurities.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think a bit of both. Can it be the answer? A
Yeah,
bit of both. A bit of
yeah,
both. She's completely right. It's just
yeah.
both.
Interesting. I find for me, it's the former. I feel so much freedom playing the music
Right.
composed by women. So much.
That's
It's
so
it's
amazing.
changed my whole way of being a pianist.
Right. That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah. So thank goodness.
Yeah.
So this is incredible to just have this time with you, Antonio. And
Thank you.
like I say, let's hope for in person sometime soon.
Yes, please.
And all the best for all these things coming up. And
Thank you.
yeah, thank you. And
So nice to chat to you.
yeah, and we'll put this up on YouTube. Hopefully that's okay with you.
Yeah.
And next week we're going to talk to another lovely man named Derek Auger, who's the Executive Director of Conservatory Canada.
Right.
And that's a conservatory that is doing incredible work in widening the repertoire and the canon. And they've just, put so many more female composers into their syllabus, including all the pieces in my anthologies, and in Olivia's resource there, Loud and Clear. So it's going to be fun to talk to Derek.
Right.
And
I think Deborah mentioned that last Friday.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
Thanks for watching that. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, so we'll talk with him next week, and then I'll keep you posted on what's coming next.
Please.
But we're just going to do Fridays at this time for as long as we can.
What time is it for you?
2 p.m.
Oh, right. Lovely. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice.
It doesn't work so well for my Australian friends. It's 6 a.m. there. So I have to figure that out because I have a couple of Australians I want to bring in. So we'll see how that works. Anyway, so thank you, Antonio. All the best, and we'll talk again. Thanks everyone for tuning in.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Ciao.